2013, Apple CEO Tim Cook made a very public apology to his Chinese customers after an uproar occurred regarding Apple's warranty. Under Chinese law, consumers are allowed a 2-year warranty for their Apple products. But when Apple only offered a 1-year warranty and then made Chinese customers pay $90 to replace faulty back covers, consumers got angry. In an effort to restore good faith, Apple CEO Tim Cook released an open letter admitting his company's lack of communication and vowed to fix the problem. We are aware that a lack of external communication in this process has led to the speculation that Apple is arrogant, doesn't care, or doesn't attach importance to consumer feedback. We express our sincere apologies for any concerns or misunderstandings this gives consumers. Cook's decision to apologize publicly was consistent with Chinese cultural norms, where apologies are a time-honored tradition and provide an important show of public respect. Tim Cook not only showed cultural sensitivity, he showed cultural intelligence. What is culture? Culture is the personality of a group. Cultural intelligence, according to Professor Chris Early, is a person's capability to adapt effectively to new cultural contexts. The risk of talking about culture is that we may fall prey to stereotyping people. A stereotype is a faulty belief that everyone from a given group or given culture is the same. Let me use Texans as an example. As a native Texan, I am mildly offended when people say that Texans are all gun-toting, pickup-driving, barbecue-eating people, and the women have big hair. No one wants to be stereotyped. Instead, let's talk about prototypes when it comes to culture. A prototype is a central tendency. In other words, a prototype acknowledges that there may be a norm in a given culture, but there is variation and dispersion around that norm. For example, think about greetings in different cultures. In France, it is normative to kiss, perhaps 2 or 3 times on each cheek, but in Japan, it is normative to bow. However, there is variation in a culture, meaning that some French people are culturally more similar to a prototypical Japanese person, and vice versa. Let's think about culture like an iceberg. As you know, about 1/9 of an iceberg is exposed above the water. 8/9 is below the surface. When we meet someone from a different culture, we see their appearance and behaviors. We don't see their values, beliefs, and norms. To make this come alive, let's do a little demonstration. Professor Michael Morris showed a picture like this to people all over the world and asked them to tell a story. What story would you tell? Most US-born people told a story of leadership and competition. This is a race or competition, and one fish is winning. There's a CEO fish or a leader fish, and these are his or her direct reports. When Morris showed this picture to a sample of Chinese participants who had not been poisoned by Western education, their stories were quite different. The group of fish is swimming to catch and protect a teammate. The message I tell my students is that you are not ready for global assignment until you understand the other person's worldview. Let's talk about 3 key cultural prototypes as identified by Professor Jean Brett in her book, Negotiating Globally: Face, Honor, and Dignity Cultures. Face cultures are primarily East Asia, but not exclusively. People from face cultures derive their self-worth from earning the respect of others. If you agree with statements like, people should be humble to maintain good relationships, and it is important to never criticize others, particularly superiors in public, you embrace the face culture. In terms of confrontation style, face cultures are indirect and will usually refer to superiors. With regard to power and status, people in face cultures are often embedded in stable hierarchical relationships. Dignity cultures are primarily Europe, North America, Australia, and New Zealand, but not exclusively. There are always exceptions. People who embody the dignity culture believe strongly in speaking their mind and being self-reliant. Their own self-worth is self-determined, and they are very comfortable engaging in direct, rational, fact-based conversation. Status and titles are not nearly as important for people in dignity cultures as information and talent. Our cultural values affect how we motivate people in our organizations. A small Texas corporation seeking to elevate productivity told its employees to look into the mirror each day and say, "I am beautiful," 100 times before coming to work. Dignity culture. Employees of a Japanese-owned company in New Jersey were instructed to begin the day by holding hands and telling each other that he or she is beautiful. Face culture. Honor cultures are primarily in the Middle East, South Asia, North Africa, and Latin America. Self-worth in honor cultures is socially claimed. The confrontation style of honor cultures is to express emotion and, if necessary, take matters into your own hands. If you agree with statements like, "People need to defend their family," and "It is important not to let others insult your reputation," you embrace the honor culture. Okay, let's conclude. There are 3 primary cultural personalities. Learn to recognize them. Some of us are multicultural. It is vital to realize that your own cultural beliefs may not be embraced by others. Decide how much you are willing to change when communicating globally.